Hi, it's time for Keats the Channel Season 2 to debut the feature that no one asked for. Literally, no one asked for more of this, but I'm still going to do it, which is looking at Magic spoilers. There's this new set coming out called Modern Horizons, and it's going to be the first time ever that cards are introduced to the Modern legality pool without first going through Standard. So I'm very interested in what they're going to do for this. I watched a bit of the reveal stream where they mentioned the name Modern Horizons, which I think had leaked like earlier today, and they mentioned this legality thing. The cards are going to go directly into Modern. They also kind of talked about the format it would have. It seems like it's going to be sold as like a very draftable set, kind of like the Modern Masters series, which I guess this is in part replacing. They also said that cards that weren't legal in Modern before could be reprinted. So cards that are played in Legacy could be finding a new home in Modern, which is very exciting. I wonder how far they'll go with that. I know there was some talk that they were thinking of reprinting Counterspell and Dominaria, but they thought it would shift Standard too hard in like a control direction. So maybe Counterspell, like if they weren't upset about the fact that it would make it into Modern, they were just mostly worried about Standard. This seems like the perfect opportunity then for Counterspell, which would be pretty crazy. I mean, I don't think it would be like format warping or anything, but it would certainly be a pretty bold thing to do. Aside from that, I really don't have any expectations. Like, I don't know if this is going to be a set that has a cohesive narrative around it and a setting, like something like Conspiracy or Battle Bond. I don't know how far they're going to go in terms of reprints. Is this going to be a set like Modern Masters where they're trying to market it as like reprint value by reprinting a lot of in-demand cards, or is it going to be more about this environment, or is it going to be more about shaking up Modern? And if it is about shaking up Modern, what do they see as the problems with Modern? Like, what sort of things would they like to have more prominent in the Modern metagame, or less prominent, as the case may be? Graveyard decks. So I don't know. My plan was to go on Scryfall because Scryfall actually has like an excellent spoilers page that I'll probably be using for spoilers going forward. But I don't think they have this set yet. So we're just going to go to the Magic subreddit, see what's going on. So, ooh, oh my god, a Sarah card for real? So it looks like there's only two cards out. They said they would reveal cards on the live stream. I couldn't watch the whole live stream, but they said they would reveal cards later. So I knew there would be some cards. It looks like there's only two. Cabal Therapist, which I'm assuming is Cabal Therapy with feet, and Sarah the Benevolent, which I guess is a Planeswalker, I'm thinking, because Sarah is like a Planeswalker. So let's look at Cabal Therapist first. I think that's maybe the less exciting one. Beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice a creature. When you do, choose an online card name. Okay, so yeah, this guy just keeps Cabal Therapying. This seems pretty good. Pretty good, I think. So let's try to work out how this works. You get it at your beginning of your pre-combat main phase. So you can't get it the turn you play this guy. It's next turn, which is a major nerf compared to Cabal Therapy. Hand Disruption you usually want to have happening now because you want it to be able to clear the path for things you want to do. Being able to get this guy down on turn one, you have your combo piece in hand or whatever. You want a Cabal for a counter or Graveyard Hate or whatever you're scared of. It's not like you're playing the thing that it's vulnerable to yet, so it's not such a great tempo loss if you're doing this on turn one. The thing is, if you're then playing your True Drop or whatever, which is the thing you're trying to protect by caballing, then you don't have the mana to play another creature, and this guy ends up sacrificing itself. In which case, it's much worse than Cabal Therapy. Cabal Therapy is good because you get the double activation, right? You play it, and then you sack a creature for the flashback, knowing that even if you whiff on the first thing you name, then you get to see their hand and you just for sure name the thing you want the least of there. So I don't know. Maybe it's not good. Maybe it's not good. I'm not really sure what sort of deck wants this too, because the decks that want a Cabal Therapy, typically they're really worried about specific types of disruption and they're trying to like force through something, right? Whereas the decks that have the resources to make good use of this, i.e., a bunch of creatures to sack, so that you can do some serious hand disruption, uh, don't really care necessarily what sort of disruption they're having. Like I guess you can start naming their board wipes or something. You can name Supreme Verdict or Wrath. I guess. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe this isn't good. Maybe this isn't good. It's exciting. It's a cool idea. I think the flavor is fantastic. The name, the art, all of that is a home run. And I don't think they could have made this any better. I think if they really wanted to push it, it would be able to do it on ETB, and then it would have this effect going forward. And that would still probably be okay. Like, probably most decks would still not run that over regular Cabal Therapy, just because you can't do the immediate double hit of play, sack a creature, flashback. And often these decks want to be sapping creatures anyways. Like, you're sacking a Veteran Explorer or something and ramping, or a Sakura Tribal Bird. No, that doesn't work. But, you know, you're sacking something with value. Which you can do here, but like, again, not immediately. You can't ramp with this because of that. It's all the fact that you can't get it on the turn it comes down, I think is such a severe nerf. So I'll be surprised if there's a home for this. Okay, what about in the graveyard deck maybe? You throw this down turn 1, you play Stitcher Supplier turn 2, sack the Stitcher Supplier, then you get a bunch of cards in the yard, you name their Rest in Peace or something, then this guy's still down, you're still throwing down your cheap creatures. I don't know. I'm tempted to read the comments, even though our MTG comments are not really up to snuff. Let's look at the next card next, at least. And then we'll maybe go back and think about it some more. Okay, Sarah the Benevolent. 4 loyalty for 4. Creatures control the flying, get +1/+1 as well on a turn. Get yourself an angel. And then you get a worship emblem. Okay. This seems actually decent. Putting it out there, getting yourself an angel for sure is like not that bad. A 4/4 flying vigilant angel for 4 isn't the worst. And then it's going to tank 1 hit at least after that too, for it to actually die. The emblem seems like it could be really strong in the right decks. Like, a lot of decks are just pushing worship right now. I shouldn't say a lot of decks and then kind of implicitly imply that those decks are good, that they're tier 1 in Modern, but they do exist. People do seem to want to do that. So I could see those sorts of decks jamming in Sarah anyways, because those are the type of decks that are usually kind of dirtling about. And that's why they're playing Worship, is that it's a way to kind of delay things while they're dirtling about. So something like this, where it itself is going to be a delay even if you don't get the Worship emblem, it's maybe okay. I don't know. This is different. I feel the same level of certainty about this that I do Cabal Therapist, where I'm going to be like a little surprised if it's in a tier 1 deck, if it has like a home, if it's in Super Demand, but not like shocked, because the power level is there. It's like pushed, but it's more just like, does this solve an immediate problem that current decks are facing, you know? Like Cabal Therapy, that solves you a problem the turn you cast it, and thus if your deck is vulnerable to those sort of problems, you can run it. Whereas, and same with this, like, it's going to provide value no matter what, but if your deck is crying out for a worship effect, you'll just play worship. And if your deck wants an angel beater, there's better things than a 4/4 flying vigilant thing for 4. Like, that's decent, but it's not good enough to just have like a value package that has several decent things, you know? Or like something that could be better if everything goes right, but it doesn't just answer that question for you guaranteed. So, I don't know. But I will say, I'm very encouraged by both of these. I love the flavor territory they're going in by like referencing old cards, bringing back old characters. That's awesome. Um, it really feels like they're rewarding longtime fans of the game. These cards are both definitely pushed. That they want them to be as good as possible, such that if there is a home for modern or a home for them in modern, that they're not just going to get like edged out in power level. I think that's the way that they should design cards like this. Not just that it's like, okay, this card is so good it just makes an archetype for itself, but rather if an archetype comes around, the power level is there. Like it's not going to be doomed from the start just because the cards that support it aren't very good, period. You know? Like, I don't know what deck could support this. I can easily picture this sort of white value beatdown deck that can support this. It just doesn't really exist in Modern right now. White is much more low curve and aggro. But they're there. They're there if the cards end up being there. And if the whole set is like this, the cards are going to be there for a whole, like, all sorts of crazy things. So yeah, this is very encouraging. It's very exciting. I'm not really sure what's so exciting about this yet because they were hyping it up as like an innovation project, and the part of the live stream I saw they were talking about how they like did all sorts of like brainstorming sessions for it and stuff, and they were like blown away by the genius of the idea. But it's basically just like a set for modern. Like I don't see really what is so mind blowing about it. I think a lot of people have had the idea, what if we put cards directly into modern and not through standard? And probably all of them would just suggest a set that's basically like this. So maybe there's something I'm still missing. Maybe there's some stuff. So let's read a few more threads. Oh, that's a little terrifying. It looks like some guy that's merged with a tree folk. I wonder if anyone has any theories. And you know, let's read the comments about these guys. Maybe there's something obvious I'm overlooking. Alright. Not coming to Arena for now. I saw some people debating over whether or not that would happen. Sure. And then they just got these two cards. Alright. What's so innovative and exciting about Modern Horizons? Yeah. No players would love. Okay. The creative mechanical elements last designing cards. I mean, sure, I don't see what's such a difficult idea about this. I suppose it is the sort of thing where they really have to convince themselves that they would actually be able to do it. Like, it's all well and good to say, let's make a set that's full of the cards that we know players will love. Like, sure, just do it. But to convince the higher ups at Hasbro that like we can actually do that, and that it'll sell. Like I guess that is really more of the challenge, the development challenge. Okay. So yes, I'm very excited for this though. Oh, maybe. Ooh, upheaval. That would be kind of exciting. Counterspell. Wasteland? No, they're never gonna put Wasteland in Modern. I really doubt it. This I could see definitely happening. This I kind of think could happen. I would rather them just put fetches in though. Just because I know those are just absurdly expensive. Yes, we already saw that, one of them, and I'm sure they'll do more because they just love doing that. Maybe. There's probably going to be 5 monocolor planeswalkers. I think the odds are decent that one of them will be a Scourge of Modern. Maybe on the order of Lily of the Veil. Maybe that's a bit ambitious. Maybe on the order of like Teferi or something. I bet it'll be more like a Teferi thing too, where it's just like solid value and it's like an upper curve thing for Some deck that doesn't have a super solid upper curve. Storm, no. Literally never gonna happen. Card banned in another format. Like a card that's banned in Legacy being printed in this? I doubt it. What could that be? I don't know. Underprinted. I don't think they'll do these. They don't really like such explicit color hosing cards anymore. I would be surprised if those made it into Modern. This I would love to see. That would make me pretty happy. I don't think there's any cards in here that would really mess up Modern. Even Imperial Seal. I think it would be the best tutor, and probably some decks would want it, but I don't think it would break Modern. Armageddon... Is Armageddon not Modern legal? Oh, I guess it's not, is it? Oops. Oh, thank you. Right. That's just a word. Of course. I just clicked that one, but that doesn't actually do what I want. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh wait. Yeah, okay. Wow. I never really thought about it. Yeah, sure. I think Armageddon is fine in Modern. Actually, I would kind of like to see the Armageddon deck in Modern. Slightly worse version of Spell played in Legacy. Probably. New cantrip. Ooh, maybe. What else could they do? It's kind of like if they tried to do something new, it would almost certainly be broken or useless, right? Kind of all the ones that are in the reasonable zone have already been made, and we've ground it down to the really fine spot where Ponder and Preordain are not okay in Modern, but Opts, Sleight of Hand, and Serum Visions are okay in Modern. And it's like, what falls between that space? I don't know what's left. New Mythic is the core of a new Tier 1 deck. That would be exciting. I guess it would be kind of sad. Something, probably never gonna happen. That would be exciting. Slivers, I could see them doing it. I think Maro's talked on Blogatalk about how he does hope to bring Slivers back, and this seems like a good opportunity. Because then they could be pushed. Slivers, it's like there's so much competition already for the Sliver deck. And it's like they probably do want to improve it. Like I'm sure Mara would be happy if Slivers was playable somewhere. Like if Modern Slivers was a deck. But if they ever did it in Standard, in order to push the deck further, they would have to make such powerful splinters that I think it would be over-centralizing. This, I think, is very likely, making those Modern legal. I don't know what a good example is. I saw some people talking about Shardless Ancient. I think that would be a cool card in Modern. I don't think it would be a big problem. This seems likely. It's sad, but it seems very likely. Oh, it's Urza when he was imprisoned in a tree in Yamiva by Multani. Sick. All right, that's awesome. That's exciting. I actually love this comment. Oh shit. And then this extremely nerdy thing that like no one understands. But you can understand the oh shit. And I understand this nerdy thing. Probably if you're watching this video, you understand this nerdy thing too. It seems like they're going deep in Magic history, and that's awesome. Cabal Therapist. Nice. Good for you. How do people feel about this? Oh, I don't know. Is this really good enough? Because it's like you name something, you cabal them, you see their hand, so then you next turn you're like, all right, if this card doesn't come down, I'm gonna name it next turn. That's the most scary thing. Sure. But if it's so scary that you want to get rid of it, they're probably just gonna play it that turn. No? And if they're not playing it that turn, then is it really like so scary? Do you know what I'm saying? Like the power of hand disruption is to cut them off now. You thought seize them, you take their next play, and then what do? You've basically just time walked, right? Like you're a whole turn ahead because they're not doing what they thought they were gonna do. I think it's too slow. I don't know. Yeah, this is how I feel though. This is a sick card no matter what. But young. Yeah, okay, maybe. But again, I don't know. It just seems a little too slow. Play this, do nothing. Yeah. Yeah. I think this is it. Alright. How about our girl? How are people feeling? They're just excited. Yeah, me too. Uh Yeah, this would definitely be too good for standard. I 100% agree there. If this had any sort of support, if this was like the only white card, it might still actually be a deck. In modern, I don't know. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Um, That's a pretty good comment. All right. Uh, yeah. Okay. I I think again, yeah, I agree that they nailed it. This is like a great Sarah Planeswalker for sure. Um, but it's like I don't know if it's good. Supplemental time spiral. I that if it's that like that's sweet. That is actually so sweet. I'm very very pumped for this. Please don't let my skepticism of certain things people are saying on the subreddit and my skepticism of the power level of these cards actually impacting modern as any sort of lack of hype. This is sweet. This is gonna be a sweet set, I think. If all of the cards, or at least even if all of the rares and mythics are this exciting, like hell yeah. Okay, we will hopefully see more of this soon. Probably not for a while though, because War of the Spark is coming out first. War of the Spark I'm very very excited for too. Um, I think the plot is going to be nuts. It feels like they're really pushing the idea that there's going to be a ton of planeswalkers in it, which is bananas. That's never been done before, but Morrow has hinted before that it could be done under the right circumstances, like the right plot circumstances, and this is certainly the right plot circumstances. A lot of people have been talking about the idea of having more flipwalkers, creatures that flip into planeswalkers, or perhaps even planeswalkers that flip into creatures. Um, like picture a planeswalker that has only negative loyalty abilities and eventually turns into a creature. It'd be interesting. I kind of think it depends on what happens in the story. So the immortal sun, which robs people of their planeswalking ability, has been brought to Ravnica as part of a gigantic crazy trap by Nicol Bolas. So depending on when in the set the story is taking place, it's either going to be creatures turning into planeswalkers or planeswalkers turning into creatures. Um, I guess like if they have a lot of creatures that flip into planeswalkers, it's kind of mitigating a lot of the problems that having a ton of planeswalkers in one set has. Um, so maybe I could see them doing that. Where like, what's the most it could possibly be? Like 15, maybe 15 planeswalkers. Jeez, I don't know. Maybe it's possible. Morrow has also said at one point that planeswalkers with static abilities is just a matter of time. So that also seems very possible. I don't know. It's very exciting. Exciting time to be a Magic fan. Both of these sets, super hype. Even this set, I'm quite hyped for. Core set 2019 with the new versions of the Elder Dragon Legends was like, mwah, I loved it. So if they have something that exciting again, which I think they would be foolish not to realize is now the expectation, then again, moi. This is always exciting too. There's always some crazy cards they try to sneak in there. So yeah, please look forward to more content that no one asked for and no one cared for. All right, bye bye.